Hi, and welcome to Working with Psychic Clairs for Beginners. I'm Aerin Kube, your guide on this exciting journey of self-discovery and hopefully some spiritual growth. Whether you're new to exploring the metaphysical world and wanting to know more about how to open to the universe and increase your awareness, listen more to your inner voice, and even potentially tap into and awaken your dormant psychic abilities, then this course hopefully is for you. It is, of course, only something to consider, as I always say, because we have to listen to our heart and truly find what resonates with us at any given time. Now, I've been teaching online for years and having guided and supported upwards of thousands of students. I've authored several books on psychic and mediumship topics, which you can find on Amazon and other stores like Barnes and Noble, for instance. I also write metaphysical fiction, which some people don't even know that. My passion, though, is helping students release their fears, teaching mediumship, and, like you, aiding the beginners to connect more deeply with their intuition. So let me start off by saying one common misconception is that only special people are born with this gift. TV, society, and even some of the books that I've come across have given inaccurate information, almost making us believe that we have to be born with something special to trust our feelings. And this course isn't about rushing out to become a paid psychic, just so you know that. This is about listening to your inner voice and strengthening your intuitive side to better your life and learn where it comes from, your sixth sense or psychic clairs. And I kind of want to add here that if the term psychic makes you uncomfortable, well, think of it as being an intuitive person. Becoming what one believes to be a psychic takes actual time and a meaningful understanding of how information comes through your psychic clairs. Throughout this course, I'm going to explore the clairs and help you recognize and understand them, showing you that you've probably had these abilities your entire life. As a matter of fact, I know you have, but let's let you make that decision. So get ready, sit back, and let's discuss learning psychic clairs for beginners. So let's understand first where these abilities may come from and why you shouldn't fear them, just in case anyone out there has had an upbringing like myself that maybe had a little bit of worry, anxiety, or anything else making them feel that they're tapping into something bad or it should be forbidden. You know, even people out there that actually think it's bad, well, in fact, if they better understood what the clairs are, they might not say another word about it and they would actually start to respect the abilities. Because I truly believe it's just the word psychic that creates the issue, and that most people use their gut feeling and their intuition every day without any fear. So it's the same thing. And that is because everyone is intuitive, and you've had these abilities since birth. The clairs that provide intuitive insight just aren't as easily recognizable because they are very, very subtle. Now, if you're feeling a little bit like confused, saying, I don't quite understand, how come I didn't know this? I don't think this is me, or maybe it is. Just know that you're not alone. There's a lot of people awakening right now, and they're discovering what's been inside of them too. And they want to know more, just like you. So first of all, everything in the universe is made of energy, and so are you. Our physical senses of sight, smell, hearing, for instance, well, they've always provided us every day with insight, and we're very aware of them. But our sixth sense allows us to receive information by imagery, impressions, feelings. They're similar, but they're non-physical senses, and I'm going to discuss that. They are so subtle that when we experience them, you might not realize it, and if you do realize it, great. You see, it's easier to discover intuition and realize the clairs in the actual moments when our mind is quieter, relaxed, if you will. The energy all around us can be read more easily then. It's trusting what we can't actually see, hear, and touch that becomes more the issue. Now, moving forward, let's explore the clairs a little bit more and learn how to recognize and then develop them. I want to give you moments in your life when you are actually tuning into your clairs and the world around you. And I'm going to list some common ways that intuitive information can actually come through. So see if you can identify with any. Here are some of the common signs you might have experienced on an intuitive level. You can check off as many that apply to you as necessary. So, knowing who's on the other end when your phone rings, feeling a magnetic pull to someone you just met, having dreams of people, places, or things that come true, knowing information about people that you don't know, seeing future events before they happen, feeling continuously busy or experiencing white noise, feeling uncomfortable in a crowded space, hearing your name when no one's there, hearing random music in your ears, feeling physical pain or knowing when someone is unwell, having a sense something bad is about to happen, knowing what someone is going to say before they say it. So now look over the statements you checked off. Were there any more or less than you expected? Many people have doubts and misunderstandings because of society's conditionings. So if you were a little bit surprised, then good, this class is for you because you are experiencing your psychic clairs. Clairs are often referred to as the clairs, and there are different ways in which we receive intuitive information. Each clair represents a specific type of intuitive ability. Understanding them can, of course, help you recognize and then develop them if you'd like. So starting off, we have clairvoyance. It means clear seeing. Having this ability, you usually see visual impressions, such as images in your mind, symbols in your mind, or even just some kind of movie clip playing out. These are all visual cues, and if you were wondering about something and asking a question and then you received in such a manner, it can provide insight and answers to your questions. Clairaudience is clear hearing, and this ability involves hearing messages, sounds, and voices that others, they can't hear. It's not external. These sounds are heard internally, like a thought, as if someone was speaking to you, but inside your mind. Clairsentience means clear feeling. And with this ability, which we all possess, we can receive information through our emotional or physical sensations. You might feel, say, another person's emotions or sense energy around you, providing some understanding of, let's say, an example. You walk into a room and people had been fighting, and when you don't know because they're suddenly quiet, but the energy just feels really thick. It feels kind of down or almost negative. So you are feeling that. And then there's times when rooms are very crowded and you almost feel overwhelmed. So these are some examples. Claircognizance is really just clear knowing, and it's about receiving information just out of nowhere without any reasoning, and it's like an instant download of information that you just know to be true. And I often say, I just know that I know, but I don't know how I know. Now, clairgustance means clear tasting, and this is the ability to perceive taste without actually putting anything in your mouth. And it can provide clues and messages about people, places, and things. Clairalliance means clear smelling, and this is actually more about smelling things that aren't actually present. It's a perception, and it can be related to spirits, environments, memories, you name it. So let's take a few moments. We're going to practice and experience each of the clairs. I think that will help guide you just a little bit better through each one and getting better understanding. So get comfortable and relax. We're going to spend a minute or two on each one so that you can kind of get a feel for how they work. For clairvoyance, close your eyes and take a few big, deep breaths in. Okay. Imagine a blank screen in your mind and just allow any images, symbols, or visions to come to you. Don't force anything, of course, just observe whatever appears. And I'll give you a minute or two to focus. And also, if this is hard and your mind appears kind of black and nothing's there, well, don't worry, because it can actually open in time. I've had that with students where it can be more difficult for them. So sometimes it helps, I can say, to look at an image or an object that may be in front of you for a minute or so, and then turn your attention with your eyes either open or closed. If you do it with your eyes open, look at it like a blank wall. That kind of helps to recreate that image in your mind. But if it's easier to close your eyes, look at the image and then close your eyes and try to recreate it. Now, next is clairaudience. Keep your eyes closed and quiet your mind, if you will, and listen for any sounds, words, or messages that might come to you. They can be internal, like a thought, or even external, like a voice. Just take a minute to practice that. And if, again, you struggle with this one, I'm going to let you know that later on you could practice going outside and listening to the different sounds around you. And this can really help aid in the process of awakening your clairaudience. When you listen more in your daily life and conversations, it can greatly help what you hear inside your mind in your spiritual life too. Now, for clairsentience, you're going to focus on your body and any feelings or sensations you might have. Pay attention to any emotions or energies that are around you, and notice if you feel anything in particular, such as warmth, pressure, tingling. So take a minute for this exercise. And also later on, if it helps, you can actually go from room to room in your home and feel the subtle differences in the same manner. For claircognizance, you're going to open yourself to the knowing. Let your mind just relax and allow any spontaneous knowledge or insights to come to you. This might feel like an instant understanding or a sudden realization. And just take a minute to see what comes up. Maybe even ask a question and see if you can get an answer to it. Sometimes claircognizance can almost come in like clairaudience for some students, but the difference is usually felt when you suddenly, without knowing, just have these answers pop in your head. And I think journaling by asking a question in your mind, say if you do this later on, where you're more relaxed and you can just let things kind of flow into you, like it'll pop into your mind in whatever way it wants, and then write it down. At the end of the day, whether you realize the difference and how it truly comes in is really not important. It's more about allowing and surrendering to let it flow into you. Next, for clairgustance, focus on your sense of taste. Imagine tasting something like a familiar food or a drink, like, say, coffee, for instance. See if you can perceive any taste sensations without actually eating or drinking anything. So spend a minute on this. And I can let you know that a lot of people might choose something either very sweet or sour, like a lemon, for example. Lastly, for clairalience, focus on your sense of smell and imagine the different scents, like maybe a flowers or spices or a familiar fragrance. Notice if you can perceive any smells that aren't physically present. All right. A good one to try is citrus, like a grapefruit or a lemon. Just try to see if you can close your eyes and see if you can smell it without actually smelling it. And if you want to better your clairalience, start noticing more in your physical life actual scents as well. Now let's take a moment to reflect on your experiences. Which clairs do you feel were the strongest for you? Did you notice any specific sensations or insights? Take a few notes and write them down, how things came to you, what you feel was your strongest clair, what clairs do you think that you would like to open up and awaken? Practicing these exercises regularly can help you strengthen your intuitive abilities. Plus, there's a lot of different things that you can do. And there's a lot of books out there, including mine, Psychic Made Super Simple, that have some basic exercises to help strengthen your clairs. But a visit to your library or even probably a Google search will give you some ideas of really neat ways to practice your intuition through your clairs. And developing your clairs requires practice, patience, and a willingness to explore. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm going to let you know that. And meditation and mindfulness can be extremely valuable into tuning into your intuition. So if your mind is really busy and this was really hard today, never fear, because you're not alone. A lot of people will tell me they have a monkey mind, and I did too at the beginning. So just know that regular practice, even with your meditation, can be very helpful. To strengthen your clairs, try practical exercises like journaling, for instance. Practice with a partner if you have one. Doing daily intuitive check-ins. Writing down your impressions just really kind of helps keep track of your progress, while working with somebody else can provide valuable feedback too. Just regularly tuning into your intuition will keep your abilities sharper. You can also use tools like oracle cards if you like, or crystals or symbols, because they can help you with practice and develop your abilities too. Try working with these tools if that helps you, and note any insights or feelings that might arise. You can also join communities, take classes, find books in your library or online. Just remember that consistency and patience are really key to this. The more you practice, the more attuned you'll find that you're going to become. Thank you for joining today's session on working with your intuitive gifts and exploring the clairs. I hope you found the information helpful, maybe even a little inspiring, but remember to keep practicing and exploring those abilities. If you're really interested in learning more, I do offer some classes, but stay connected and find the communities out there that work spiritually, metaphysically, and you'll get there. And I'm wishing you all the best on your journey forward.